Let me tell you a story. A true one. If you believe in that sort of thing. It's about a man named Edward, and a cottage that didn't want him. Edward was 53. Divorced. Burned out. One of those men who never said much, but always looked like he was thinking too hard. When the city finally wrung him dry, he cashed out and moved to the country. Found a place on Harlow Lane. Stone cottage. Ivy crawling up like green fingers. Red door. Wood smoke chimney. Everything about it whispered, peace. Except for one thing. It had been on the market for far too long, in a village where homes were snapped up before you could blink. This one sat, waiting. Still, Edward saw no issues. He checked the wiring, the roof, the plumbing. No mould, no drafts, no structural damage, too good to be true. But he was tired of second-guessing good things, so he bought it. And for the first week, it was heaven. Birdsong, fresh air, the kind of silence that makes your chest feel wider. But then, things began to change. First, little shifts. The sort of oddities you brush off. The kettle would be hot when he hadn't used it, drawers left open, photographs slightly crooked each morning. But soon, it wasn't just things, it was her. It started with smells, lavender and mothballs, old perfume, powdery, out of place in the fresh country air. It would hang in the hallway at night, clinging around the armchair by the fire. Then came the footsteps, soft, slippered, deliberate, shuffling along the upstairs corridor while Edward lay frozen, staring at the ceiling in the dark. He told himself, old house, settling, wood expands, contracts. But this house wasn't settling. It was stirring, and it didn't want company. One night he woke to the sound of humming, slow, wavering, like an old lullaby played from a rusted music box. It came from the kitchen. He crept down the stairs, every step groaning underfoot. And there, in the moonlit dark, the rocking chair was moving, back and forth, back and forth. And just behind it, in the reflection of the glass cabinet, he saw her. A woman in a grey house dress, hair braided down her back, face pale, long, unsmiling, eyes locked on his. She didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. Then gone, like dust swept into sudden wind. He left the lights on that night, and the next and the next. But Helen didn't care for lights. Bulbs popped, fuses tripped, candles guttered and died with no breeze in the room. She escalated. One morning, every mirror in the house cracked, dead center. Another day, every book on his shelves stacked in a perfect pyramid, not toppled, not knocked, arranged. And once he found muddy footprints in the living room, leading from the fireplace to the foot of his bed. The front door was locked, the windows shut, but something had walked the house that night and stood watching him sleep. He began to speak to her, quietly, gently, like someone might speak to a deer in the woods. "Helen," he said, "I know this was your home. I don't want to take anything. I just need a place to rest." The room went cold, not chilly, frigid. His breath fogged in front of his face, and the fireplace, roaring moments before, snuffed out. And then he heard her, right beside him, in his ear. "You don't belong here." Her voice was dry, brittle, like leaves crushed underfoot. That night, she showed him. He dreamed, but it didn't feel like a dream, more like memory. He saw her, in the armchair, frail, alone, waiting as the world moved on without her. He saw her die, quietly, as if falling asleep. And then he saw her wait, for years, dust gathering, vines creeping, her house left behind, until Edward arrived, and she decided not him, not anyone. He woke with scratches down his arm, thin, red, long, like fingernails. The next day he packed, didn't tell anyone, didn't leave a forwarding address. He locked the door one final time, and as he turned to go, he heard it. Click. The red door, swinging open, slowly, inviting the next one in. The cottage is still there, still lovely, still waiting. And if you ever find yourself on Harlow Lane, you might stop and admire it. But don't knock, don't step through that red door, because Helen Ashcroft still lives there, and she does not want you there.